I'll take your questions.
Is it a virus?
We don't know.
Are these people alive or dead?
We don't know.
Why are they coming here?
Memory, maybe. Instinct. Maybe they're coming for us.
But I'm killing these things, Sheriff.
Just shoot them in the head. They seem to go down permanently when you shoot them in the head.
Is everyone there dead?
Dead-ish.
Is everyone there dead?
Yeah, in the sense that they all sort of fell down, got up, and
Your foot out there.
started eating each other.
Shit rolls downhill. America always sorts this shit out.
Welcome, everybody, to Midnight Cinema. I am Art Hennessy in San Diego.
And I am Erik Rodenheiser in Salem. And Art, I have just been informed that we are going off the air because of a zombie outbreak, apparently.
Wow. All right, that's 2 weeks in a row that this has happened. Last week, I thought we lost you because I thought things were invading your room.
Oh, no, I'm fine now. I'm fine.
You're good now. Okay.
Didn't get bit. I didn't get bit.
Okay. So as you can tell from our little intro, this week we are talking about Dawn of the Dead, movie released in 2004, directed by Zack Snyder, starring Sarah Polley, Jake Weber, Ving Rhames, Mekhi Phifer, and Tom Savini.
And also starring Tom Savini.
Right.
And you said the director is Zack Snyder. I think we need to point that
Snyder.
out. This is his first film.
This is how it started. This is how the Snyderverse sort of started right here.
Snyderverse, yeah.
That we've all been living in, right?
Yeah. Yep.
This was 2004. It is a reimagining, is what they called it, of the 1978 movie Dawn of the Dead, which was made by George Romero and which Erik and I talked about last week on this very podcast. So they did not call it a remake. I know when I went back and read, Erik, some of the interviews from the time this movie came out, they just kept saying it's a reimagining. It's a reimagining of that movie.
What the hell does that mean? It's a remake. They made it again, but they changed some things. Is that a reimagining?
That's what I was wondering. I was going to ask you the same question, what you thought about reimagining.
Whenever they say it's a reimagining, my first thought is, oh, they're saying that in case we think it sucks.
That's usually the cover for it. I will mention, Erik, you said this is a baby Zack Snyder. It is also writing the screenplay as a baby James Gunn. James Gunn would go on to make Guardians of the Galaxy, and now he's the head of the DC universe in the movies. Yeah,
they're both heads of some kind of verse.
Correct.
And isn't he the guy who also wrote the Scooby-Doos?
He wrote both Scooby-Doos.
Which
and
I like
he started, Erik, you might know this too, but he started in Troma. That's where he started his career, was making movies with Troma. He wrote and directed Tromeo and Juliet.
Which sadly I saw it.
Yeah.
And fun fact, Art, I didn't audition. I feel like dummy, but somebody wanted me to audition for a guy who's shooting a trauma film. They wanted me to be a mad scientist, and I haven't auditioned yet.
Oh, is this recent? You could be in a trauma film? Is that what you're saying?
And I thought, should I do that? It's just so we could, cover it in a podcast.
Correct. Oh my gosh, that would be so funny.
Wouldn't that be crazy? But yeah, two really successful people starting out with this movie.
Yeah, and it was a big hit. It actually did very, very well when it opened. And I want to point out, Erik, this might make you feel, and those in our audience feel a certain way. This movie was made about 26 years or so after the 1978 Dawn of the Dead. And right now, this movie is a little over 20 years old.
Holy crap.
Yes, 2004. It's now a little bit past that. So we're reviewing a movie that's a remake of a movie that we consider nostalgia, but this one also is very old at this point.
Wow. Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah. So this is a remake. I'm going to call it a remake of Dawn of the Dead, if you're okay with that.
Whatever you want.
So it takes place in 2004. I do want to add some context for this movie. If you think about 2004, Erik, where we were as a country in 2004, this would have been the year after we invaded Iraq, just a couple of years away from 9/11. So the landscape that they're making this remake of Dawn of the Dead in is pretty contentious out there. So when I'm watching this movie, I'm having that in the back of my mind with some of the themes and the things that they're speaking about during this. I think it's a little different than the time period that George Romero was making his first movie in, which was concerned with, it seemed like, some other things in it. So, and
yeah, this one's definitely doesn't have a message.
Yeah,
other than zombies might eat you.
Right.
You don't run fast enough.
Good point. Like, so this is a visceral thrill ride. James Gunn said what they said to him with tasking him for this screenplay was that they were leaning heavier towards action genre than horror genre. They did want it horror, but they wanted it leaned...
Than horror what?
Than the horror genre.
What was the word?
Genre.
I think you did 3 types of words there. I love catching you on a word because you're so...
Horror genre. Horror. It's the horror genre.
It's the horror genre. My favorite genre is horror.
It's a genre.
There you go. That's it.
So what's your experience with this movie, Erik? When did you see it in theaters when it came out?
I did see it in theaters, and when I saw it again recently for the podcast, but I really liked it. You know how I feel about zombies. This one doesn't affect me as much because George Romero's 60s zombies are always just way too creepy for me. But this one also had me unsettled when I saw it. And I believe I saw it when it came out because I was so excited for the remake and terrified at the same time.
I assumed I had seen this when it came out for some reason all these years. But then when I started watching it for this podcast, Erik, I was wondering if I actually had, because I really was not recalling anything as I was going through it. From everything from the cast to what was happening, I was not recalling anything, and that lasted all the way through. So I think this was my first time seeing this.
What?
Because I really, if I saw it in theaters, I didn't remember any of it, which might be scary now that we're getting older.
Shut up. That's just you. That's just you, whatever your name is.
Yeah.
So if you didn't see it, if you don't remember seeing it, that'd be great because I've seen this. I like this movie. So full disclosure.
Yeah.
And I can watch it. There's only one scene that I would really skip, but the rest of the movie I would watch. Just so we're clear, you didn't watch the director's cut.
I did not watch the director's cut. I watched the regular theatrical cut of this movie. After watching that, in my research, I've learned there was a director's cut, and I looked up some deleted scenes and things like that would have been on that cut. And so, as Erik, from my understanding and what I saw, there isn't a whole lot extra in the unrated director's cut, right?
No, there's just some extra. I think there's some extra gore, and we have to bring up I think that's the correct way to say it. We have to bring up the Asian zombie when it's appropriate, because I don't know if you saw this guy or not.
Yeah, I'm not recalling this. So this might be a director's cut.
When the time comes, and then that'll be the difference right there. The one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Diverse zombie. Diverse nationality zombie.
All right.
Yeah.
So we open up the movie. It has a fiery flaming screen, churning flames, which dissolves into a skull, which then dissolves into an X-ray of a human skull that we're looking at.
Yep. So you're confused at the beginning, just like you are with the Dawn of the Dead originally, but then it brings you into the real world of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
The hospital.
And it's much more subtle than the 1978 film where we talked about that film opened with chaos right from the start. Here it's a hospital, and it's very, very, very underplayed what's happening in the outside world. We meet Anna, who's played by Sarah Polley. She's a nurse, and she's ending her. Sarah Polley is in this movie, which surprised me so much. because Sarah Polley is now, of course, people would know her as an Academy Award nominated director. She's directed incredible films. The last one, Women Talking, was a really, really good film.
Yeah,
and,
but nobody watched that shit.
No, but I think
Wasn't
well,
she indie? She was an indie star?
She was an indie actress.
Yeah.
It's funny you joke nobody watched that shit, but she was an indie actress of a lot of acclaim prior to this. But I think Sarah Polley too understood from interviews I read that nobody was watching that shit.
Yeah.
And they pitched her this movie. And you'll find this interesting. One of the things she liked about it when they pitched it to her is they said to her, we're making a horror movie. We're going for horror. And what they meant was, at this point in time, a lot of horror, mainstream Hollywood horror, was now coming out of the Scream era in the late 90s, where everything was ironic and detached. It was all about, we know that this is scary, and here are the tropes, Eric. I know you love that word. The tropes.
Oh,
Here are the tropes. And we know these are tropes, and you know these are tropes. So, and so what she liked was when she read the script, she goes, oh, this isn't a movie about we know all the zombie tropes. This is like balls to the wall horror. And that actually intrigued her. And she decided to sign on for the movie.
And first of all, thank you for saying trope, getting it out of the way. And secondly, don't know if you know this, and you probably do, because you know everything in a good way, is that I have affection for Sarah because she was the little girl in the Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Yes.
And
yes.
she almost looks just like her. It's like she's taller.
I think that was that her first screen role. I think it might have been one of her first screen roles. Yeah. And then she was in a movie. I don't know if you remember. It was a very popular indie movie at the time, The Sweet Hereafter. Do you remember that movie with the bus crash? It was like a very popular indie movie at the time called The Sweet.
All right. How many indie movies do you think I've watched compared to you?
The only reason I bring it up, the only reason that I bring it up is because it was very, very omnipresent at the time. It was up for Academy Awards and things. But yeah, so Sarah Polley is playing a nurse. She's checking off on her shift. And there's people being wheeled in. And what she's discussing with the doctor, right, is this person is up in the ICU with supposedly an injury or a bite or something. But why is this person in the ICU? And so we know we're getting like, oh, this is probably a zombie, right? And she goes outside and she sees our first fake out. She sees the ambulance and there's somebody lying, legs coming out of the ambulance, and the music sort of punches up a little bit. Eric, oh, and the guy just sits up.
They did a great thing with the sound there because there was an ambulance sound too, like, and the guy sat up almost like a zombie. And I thought that was really great. And Sarah, I'm just calling her Sarah from now on in the movie.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
give a
fine.
shit what her character's name is. She's such a believable actor from her indie films that nobody saw that you're immediately interested in this person. And if you do watch it a few times, you get so many clues that things are starting to happen because people in the hospital talking or background noise or that guy, like you said, wheeled in. So I really like that. So this hasn't quite started. Something happened fairly recently. Mm-hmm. And I also think it's late in the afternoon.
Yeah, so, or it's evening. She's getting
evening.
Off shift, and because I think we start to notice the sun's going down by the time she gets home. But yeah, I think a great opening. It's very subtle. We see that it's Wisconsin. The flag outside the hospital is the Wisconsin. So Milwaukee, this is taking place in.
Does it look like Milwaukee? I thought it looked like suburbia in California.
It looks to me. It looks to me like Canada, which is where it was filmed.
Yeah.
But yeah. So no, a great little opening. And I do give them credit. They did not hit you over the head with stuff. It's very subtle, like you said. As she goes home, she goes to the little neighborhood. It looks like the neighborhood in Fright Night 2011, actually, that she goes home to. So I could see where you're mistaking it for Las Vegas or something. It looks exactly like that housing tract.
Yes, She lives next to a vampire probably and has no idea.
Exactly. So she's just getting home and she's pulling up. There's a young girl on her roller skates outside. It seems she's exchanging some pleasantries. It must be her next door neighbor.
It's Vivian.
Vivian is
they
the
know
girl's
Vivian.
name.
They love Vivian. Little
Yeah.
Vivian. Was she
Vivian,
like 11?
Yeah, I would say 11. It's like the kid next door. And she goes in, her and her husband, they watching TV that looks like they both home from work, crashing on the bed, watching TV.
Did that guy look like, what's his name from Friends? Didn't it look like the guy from Friends? It wasn't him, but I thought, Joey? He looked
Joey?
like Joey.
To me, he looked a little like Justin Theroux. I know if you know that actor, he looked like, a matter of fact, I thought, is this like an early Justin Theroux?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I like mine better.
Yeah.
Joey from Friends.
But her husband, they just having an evening and
what happens in the
and
evening?
I will note this too.
No, all right, you're skipping over. I know we said we're going to skip over some stuff. What are you skipping over there? Why you?
Well, they're clearly a couple.
Why?
And
because they're doing what no couples do, Art, which is having sex in the shower. Raise your hand if you had a successful moment like that in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody's raising their hand on my end.
And Eric, I think in my research, I saw that Sarah Polley herself and the guy playing her husband didn't think that was just a weird scene for them to shoot.
Yes, but good for them. No boobies, no bums or peens, nothing.
No. Yeah. And so they're going to go to bed. I will say that on a ride home, what I thought was good was, you notice when she gets in the car and, not to back up, but she gets in the car and she turns on the radio and you just start to hear like, and a breaking bulletin will be, but she just turns it right off and turns music on like most people do. I'm not going to listen to the news, but we know we're like, oh, they were probably about to say something important.
And if they weren't so selfish and were having sex in the shower, they would have seen the stuff on the television, but they didn't.
No. And then they crash and then, early in the morning, something's going on because we immediately notice somebody's in the house.
I got goosebumps from this one because I think they did that so well. Somebody's there, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the doors open to their bedroom. Oh, yeah, I love it. It's Vivian.
Yeah, and she's backlit, so we can't see her. We can just see that she's in a nightie, but we can tell it's kind of dirty. Maybe the nightie has blood on it or something. But when she steps into the light, it's good makeup. Her face, it looks like she's been bitten or something on her mouth and it's pulled off.
Yes.
And we can see the teeth.
Yep. And I hope that you feel the same way about this because for me, I need to know how the person died. And a lot of zombie movies, they're just dead. You can't tell how they died, but you can tell that she probably went to kiss one of her family members or whatever goodnight or something like that, and they just ripped her lips right off.
That was exactly what I was thinking. Or she was asleep and then she woke up and her mom was over and it was like, oh, hey, mom. And that's what I imagined happened to her. And so, of course, Sarah Polley's husband here in the bed is very concerned. He wakes up, he sees her. And I love this because it would be a human reaction, right? Oh, my God, this young girl is clearly injured. And so he goes over to her to see if she's all right, gets really close to her.
Yep. And she just takes a chaw out of his neck. It's always the neck, Art. It's always like that vampire. But this one's good. I mean, it is good.
When she pulls the thing, it's got like a long. They do this in the original Dawn of the Dead as well. We talked about the chaw and the pull, and they pull like a vein or something is still pulling out of it. It's just such a visceral thing.
And I also want to point out that these particular zombies make noise. They make animal noises. She goes,
yes. And we're starting to realize too that they are fast. They move. Of course, at this point, Sarah Polley's up out of the bed. Oh my God, what's going on? Her husband falls down on the bed. She's able to lock the girl out of the bedroom door, but the girl is pounding on it, man. The door is.
What I love about this one is for zombie fans, except for 28 Days Later, which is not a zombie movie. They are not zombies. So
they're infected by a rage virus.
And they're alive. So shut up. So one of them pushes the girl and she falls. She flies backwards and lands on the ground. And what I love is she leaps up like she's in an action film. You know that superhero move, and she jumps up. I love that. And I found out that they added wires to her so that they could make it look more. And I put in my notes that it's not the art. She sounded like a jaguar. She's like, is that a jag?
Yeah. And she is really agile and moving, and it would have been great if they had her on roller skates. Like she had the roller skates on earlier. Imagine if they had kept the roller skates on her. That's what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like,
that's awesome. It's like rollerball for zombies.
So Sarah Polley now is dealing with her husband. He's got the wound. She's trying to stop it. She keeps saying, pull your hands away. And he's going and she's got to deal with all this. And this is what we learned too. And I was going to ask you about this, how consistent this is. We'll talk about it as we go on. He turns fast. This is fast. This is not slow. He dies and he's right. Boom, up out of bed.
Would you like to know how long it takes, Art?
How long?
Normally it's 10 to 12 seconds.
Okay.
Because he dies, he has, you can see his little juice pumper, like his jugular, whatever, is just like pumping out. So I thought that's cool. And then he gets up behind her, which for the audience is terrifying. And I love it because he's looking around like, and then he turns and faces her, and you're like, whoa.
Yes. Yeah. And now she's got to contend with him, and she falls backwards into the bathroom. It's a great shot all the way into the tub and falls down and takes the curtain down with her. I just thought I was in on the movie at that point because I'm like, this is violent. It's unpredictable. I feel like it looks real. And she's now stuck in the bathroom. He's trying to get it.
And that was one of the only stunts I think that she didn't do, or she did that one, I think, because I don't think there's a cut there, but I was really proud of little Munchausen girl for that.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I don't know how they would have done it, because it looks like her falling into the bathtub.
Yeah, it's later when she has to jump out the window. Yeah, that's a stunt person apparently.
Yeah, and also they're filming all this. From what I read in some commentary, this is like the first things they're filming in this movie is all this stuff. And Zack Snyder said that he learned while he was on the shoot, people were like, no, you don't usually shoot the first stuff in the first day. You shoot the last stuff, like you shoot the final kills and the final stuff, and then you go back and you shoot this stuff. And he was like, oh, I didn't know. So imagine Sarah Polley's on set. This is it, man. She's introduced and she's running around fighting zombies.
Yeah.
That must be wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she gets out the window, falling out the window, and now she's outside, and we're getting to see what's going on around, right, as she's running to the car.
Yeah. Well, you can see now that, especially with her husband, that the zombies aren't, they're not only fast and aggressive, but they're almost they're either stupider with their strength or stronger, because her husband pulls that Jack Nicholson door breakthrough with his head. You're like, oh my God, they can just break through doors. You know, the door. Right. Normally, doors locked, you might be okay, but they're crazy zombies.
And and the way they're designing these zombies is they're opposed to the Romero zombies, which I think there was like they're like a grayish tint with these are blood on them usually. These zombies I noticed in this movie, you see the red blood from wherever they were injured, and they don't necessarily look emaciated or anything, because this is all happening right now.
Yeah, it's just the eyeballs. Something happens with their eyes; they get like yellow and veiny in the pupils. It's a really cool. They're just crazy stuff.
And they're fast. Yeah, so she's going out and she's getting into her car, and as there's a neighbor who's got a gun, and she has blood all over her, by the way, we should say. So he's going to shoot her, we think, this neighbor, because he doesn't know whether she's a zombie or not.
Yep.
And he's about to shoot her, and an ambulance just mows him down, which sort of adds to the chaos of everything that's happening right now.
Just takes him out.
Yes. And we're seeing now she's sort of taking and she's looking, she does sort of a look around the neighborhood, and it's almost, Eric, it's almost comical how crazy everything is. Like, you're seeing helicopters off in the distance. You're seeing people running from people all around. Cars are out of control and crashing. It's a little, like I said, it was bordering on funny for me, but it was still wild, and I was with it. So it's not a
explosions, houses on fire.
Yes.
And the suburban, pointing out that it's a suburban place, you can only imagine what a city would be like, because this is just suburbia, and it is mayhem. Yeah.
And she gets in her car, and now she's got to navigate this mayhem in the car. So we're seeing, her driving, and there's cars swerving and I think they said in the stuff I read that they nearly did hit her car. Like, there's a really close call with a police cruiser that fishtails and nearly hits her. And when I watched it the first time, Eric, I was like, whoa, that was pretty close for a stunt thing. And then afterwards I read that they were worried that she was going to hit, and sometimes they have the camera on the car, so I think she is driving in some scenes that they have where we can see her.
Cool shots, lots of different ways to shoot. And I love the fact that when her husband is chasing the car, top speed, by the way.
Yes, her husband's
top speed. And he just peels off because he sees a woman standing there. I thought that was a little funny for me. He's just like, oh, there's another one. He just takes her down.
And I know, it's like free lunch. You got to go over to somebody offering free tacos. You just kind of pull right over and check that truck out. But there was this one brief moment too, where a woman comes up to the car and is sort of like, help me, help me, help me. And she doesn't, to me, look like she's zombified but I guess you don't know. Right. So, and she drives on and leaves this woman. Yeah. She goes on, and then we have a great overhead drone shot where I don't know if it's drone at that time, but the car's going down and we just see buildings on fire. A truck just cuts across the path of her car, smashes into a gas station. The gas station blows up. It's kind of crazy. Like what's going on. It's really good. There, as a side note, I guess on the director's commentary for this movie, Zack Snyder said when he watches it, he's always a little frustrated because if you look, I guess, one subdivision of the houses that you see in this overhead shot, it doesn't make any sense. There's no like road that can, because it's computer generated, I'm sure. But this one division, but he pointed it out. He goes, if you notice, there's no connecting road. It doesn't actually make sense, that subdivision, because it doesn't connect to anything else. So if people are watching the movie, you can try and see that.
That'd be fun. I didn't know about that one, but what I did know about was the helicopter that makes a cameo.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. The
WGON, right?
Yeah. They're back in the yellow copter. Here we go.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, in the first movie, they escaped in the early part of the movie in a helicopter that was the traffic helicopter for WGON. Yeah. Gone, which Erik pointed out.
Cleverly pointed out, I think you said.
Cleverly, yeah. Yeah. I was going to say that.
I think you were, yeah.
Yeah, after we recorded.
I helped you.
Yeah, so she's bombing down the highway. She sees a metro bus is pulled over. We see people getting eaten inside the bus.
Yeah.
And the bus driver just wants to take her car. He comes over. He's like, get out of there. Give me that. I think he even says, give me that car. And causes her to just go right over the embankment, hit a tree. It's we see the birds go flying out of the tree. It's a great way to show it, right? The birds go flying. And then I'm like, oh, wow, we're getting the opening credits 10, 12 minutes into this movie. Like they're going to do these.
It's great. The opening credits are great I love the blood splatter of the words. And then is it Johnny Cash, right? When a man comes around, whatever it is. That's a great.
When the man comes around I think it's from that period. Remember Johnny Cash kind of redid all of his songs I think they had it was sort of a reimagining of stuff. He did it very spoken word, I think. And he also did covers of other people's songs. Do you remember that? He did like Nine Inch Nails song and things like that.
Well,
And this was that era of Johnny Cash music, and they took that and
To be
they make
honest,
it a
Mark-
really, really engaging opening credits
yeah,
sequence.
I was into Glenn Campbell, so
Rhinestone
yeah.
Cowboy.
by
Yeah.
the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rich now. I was into that, so I didn't know that they were.
Or just, like Rhinestone Cowboy over all those credits, but not altered at all.
Yeah,
Just,
Rhinestone Zombie though. I'm a Rhinestone Zombie.
but these opening credits, you can clearly see their influence in The Walking Dead's opening credits. Obviously, 7 sort of paved the way for these types of opening credits with these interesting shots and the way the screen skips. I will say that was something interesting, at least to me, thinking about the time period when this movie's coming out. Those credit sequences, do you notice what they open with? And I was like, what? They open with a mosque, with everybody bowing and praying, and then we get into sort of civilization collapsing. And I was a little like, how am I supposed to process that? What is that? What's happening?
Well,
Why
I
is that
took
in
it
the...
as this is a way for us to know that it's happening everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. And I think they interspersed real news violence with zombie violence, and it was not discernible. You couldn't tell really what was something they got footage of and something they shot.
Yeah, some of it is real footage. I guess the truck that's barreling through the crowd, which is disturbing, is an actual event that they show on there. And then we're getting clips of politicians, and there's people commenting, and I think there's a politician or somebody saying the line from this one is, are they alive? Not really. Are they dead? We don't know. And then we're just seeing sort of that collapse on the White House lawn. There's obviously a spokesperson. And then there's suddenly, oh my God, they're here and they're shooting and everything. So it's a really wild opening that sort of brings us up to speed as to what's happening in the outside world, because we're going to be sticking very close to our, like in the last movie, we're going to stick close to our little group here that's going to form.
And pointing out when we talking about the zombies and fast moving and stuff like that, this is one of the movies that shows you why somebody is not eaten to shreds. Remember in Dawn of the Dead, the original, I kept saying, well, why aren't they, if they're feasting on people, why don't they finish up? It's a waste of food. But these zombies come back so quickly. That's how it makes sense to me, is they wake up 10 to 12 seconds after they're dead.
Yeah. So now that they're a zombie, the other zombies aren't gonna.
They don't care.
They don't care. They're not going to be biting on them. Yeah, because you are right, Eric. Because if I think about it, a lot of the zombies that you see in this movie clearly just have one wound where you can almost discern, like you said, how they were bit or how that they became a zombie. So Sarah Polley is unconscious in her car. She wakes up and gets out of the car, starts walking.
And she's met by a cop at gunpoint who is Ving Rhames?
Ving Rhames. Yeah. I think Ving Rhames at this time, Eric, probably would have been the biggest name in the movie. Would he have?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he heard they were doing a reimagining. And he basically said, I want to be in this movie. But what do you think of his performance, first of all? Because I think
you have some questions?
Well, it works because he's very monotone, very reserved. So I thought it worked, but at the same time, it's Ving Rhames. So Ving Rhames talks like this all the time. It's a weird.
Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction, right?
Oh,
so
almost,
it's
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
oh my God, that's right.
That's him. Yeah. He's a police sergeant. He's got his uniform on and a big ass gun. She's like, I'm going to be with you now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to go. You got a big ass gun and I'll follow along with you. But I love how when she first gets out of the car, it's like, say something.
And what does she say? She goes, please. Yeah. And that was it. I like that. And so it tells you something about his character because he doesn't just shoot her.
No.
So he's like her. He's sort of he's on a nice list.
Yeah. And they're going to very quickly meet up with another group of people. And like you said, here's where the movie starts to be. I don't know any of their names, and I know the actors, but I don't know these people's characters' names. I don't get them down completely. So
well, it's a younger couple, guy and a girl. The woman's pregnant, and like we're too stupid to know she's pregnant by the big baby bump. She's got to hold her stomach. I'm so sick of that. I mean, I've impregnated a person, to full disclosure, and I've seen them with a baby bump twice, and they don't sit there and just be like rubbing their stomach. It's like the empty coffee cup thing. I just don't. I'm sorry, little digression there, but yeah, we know she's pregnant. We get it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and right away they're going to happen on the mall. They're like, there's a mall up over there, and we see it over the hill.
3 people?
It's 3. It's I do remember. I think it's Michael. That's Jake. That's Weber, the actor Jake Weber, and then I don't know the couple's name, but it's Mekhi Phifer is the young African American guy, and his wife. I want to say her name was Luda, and she's
you don't
pregnant.
Know their names and
she's pregnant. No, but I kind of remember but they're
nerd.
not important. I want to stress this to the listener of the podcast. If you watch this movie, you won't know their names. They're not making a point of this, and you also won't know much about them. You won't know a lot about them.
Shirt. That's what I have.
Yes, guy in white shirt.
Nice
so they're all teaming
too.
up. They're gonna go to the mall, figure a place to get some refuge. Yeah. So they're going in the mall, and it seems safe in there.
Because of the music.
Don't worry, be happy is the music.
I'm going to let you take the little cameo bit from a past character, because I'm sure you spotted it and you know it. Soon as they walked in, right in the back is a specific restaurant.
Oh, it's called Gale, right? Gale.
Nope. That's the clothing store.
Oh, the clothing store.
Yeah, the diner. There's a diner there. Your favorite character from Dawn of the Dead, the original. You don't know? Oh my gosh!
I'm trying to think. I don't think I saw this, Erik.
Wolseley.
Wooly, my favorite.
Because you guys kind of are the same.
That is not my favorite cat. I want to be very clear. Wooly's Diner. God. Because Wooly's... Why would they even put Wooly's Diner in there? Wooly doesn't need to be memorialized from that film.
Yeah, but
for those of you who have not seen the original Dawn of the Dead, Wooly is a horribly racist SWAT member that is just shooting minorities, whether they're zombies or not. He's horrible. And so it's Wooly's Diner.
It is, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were mentioning it was a clothing store that I did catch that. That was the actress's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was fun. A lot of the name, they had to make up while we're here. They had to make up names of all the stuff in the mall, which I thought was really cool. They made real signs for fake stuff, and they were all great names for
hallowed grounds.
Yes. Because apparently Starbucks was like, nope, we're not doing this stupid movie. I love that name. There's actually a hallowed ground now. It's either in Salem or near Salem. Somebody opened up a coffee shop called Hallowed Ground. And I thought, that's great.
Yeah. So they're in the mall, and then they get a little attack here. Guy comes out. He looks like a security guard, and he goes into the fountain, and he gets shot, but not killed, not through the head. I don't think that they realize. Maybe this group doesn't realize yet that you got to shoot them through the head because
you have no idea.
He's just flopping around in the fountain after they shoot him. He's flopping like a fish or something in there. I was like, this actor has.
I don't know why I know this character's name, which is ridiculous. Why do I know this character's name? I don't know why. And it's not quite this name, but his name's Ben Cozy. It's
the character.
Cozy. Yeah.
Well, they say it. They say, I think later we're going to hear it.
But why would I remember that? It's Ben Cozy.
And then also we have Mekhi Phifer goes to the door, and I think they want to address this because a zombie comes up to the door of the mall, and he's really skinny. That zombie, he's really skinny, and he looks really emaciated compared to a lot of the other zombies in this movie, which look like stunt people that are healthy, like basically.
This guy's not a
This-
runner. Not a
No,
runner.
he's not a runner. But he comes up and Mekhi Phifer's, he's banging on the thing, and Mekhi Phifer says, shatterproof, so that we know that it's shatterproof glass, so that the
case
zombies
we're
are going to
too
have a hard
stupid.
time getting through it.
In case
Yeah.
we're too stupid to think
And,
that.
and what was interesting, that was another comment I heard. Zack Snyder said they might have even shot it. It was supposed to be a horde of zombies come running up to that door, but he decided that it would be better to just have this one skinny zombie come up to the door.
Which I like. And let's think about that guy for a second, because not a fast runner, but yet he made it all the way to the mall. Right. So is he a homeless person? He happens to live, in the garbage can, and he got there first. That's an early morning zombie getting to the mall.
Yeah.
He wants that hallowed ground, or he wants a sandwich from Woolies.
Yeah, they don't play this up as much, but they do give lip service to it in this movie. The first movie was very, very much concerned thematically. I think I said that they kind of hit it over and over again in that people come back to do what they were used to, that these zombies have an instinct in them, like, oh, I went to the mall, and so I'm going to the mall to buy things. There's something deeply instinctual in it. And I think Ving Rhames says at one point, he says, oh, maybe they're coming here because they used to go to the mall, or maybe they're coming here for us. They're like, well, maybe we should get to higher ground, get to the second floor of the mall or the third floor of the mall. And this is where the doors open and we realize they're not alone in the mall.
I like this scene so much because you get the 3 security guards, and they are, in a sense, caricatures of what you think security guards might be, but done so well that they're absolutely believable. And they're having a standoff, and CJ's introduced, who's a complete and utter asshole. He definitely eats at Woolies Diner, 100%. Great acting there. What I love about this scene is while they're at a standoff with their guns, the elevator keeps closing and they have to press the button to open it. And that happens to me all the time at Gallows Hill Museum Theater, where you've witnessed the elevator to the basement. That elevator, you have to keep pressing it. And I thought, wow, you guys, nice job. You didn't have to do that, but it was good. It was a little comical for a tense scene. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. So it's obviously these 3 security guards, and CJ, the leader of the group, is no nonsense. He's like, you're going back out. Like, we don't want you here. He's persuaded to let them in, but they got to give up their weapons.
Yep.
He makes them give up their weapons.
Yep.
Which at first, having watched years of Walking Dead and all these post-apocalyptic, I'm like, don't do it. Don't give up the weapon. Don't do it. As a matter of fact, I think Anna's the first one to go out there, right, with the gun, and she hands it, and they're all going, don't, and she does.
And I have to point out that our black friend, not Ving Rhames, the other guy, he was like, oh man, because they just gave all these white guys their guns. I really like that little bit where he's just like, don't do that. You dummy. I thought, and then
then now that they're in there, they get to watch some TVs in the department store or whatever, or the audiovisual store, and there's all these TVs on. And is this where we see our friend from the last movie, Raj, on there? Does he have his little comment here? Raj is the general who's telling everybody, he's kind of like, come here, we'll get you, we'll send people out, you're safe here. He's putting out that message. And this is good news for Ving Rhames' character, because his brother is in that area. He wants to go meet up with his brother, so he's thinking his brother's in there. Yep. So as we're watching the footage, Eric, you probably noticed they're showing the news footage, and we can tell there's wounded people in there that are going to turn. They're taking a woman off of one of the transports, and she's got the hair over her eyes, and we're like, oh, she's infected, but they don't realize this yet, I think.
No,
and
when you said Raj, here's what I heard. I heard you say Raj, and I thought, are you talking about like the Hare Krishna zombie? He doesn't appear in this. It's Roger,
Roger from the last movie. Yeah, he's there, and he's the general.
But another line, CJ, I love the lines in this, but when they say they have to go to the bathroom, he's like, this is like a fucking nursery school. I mean, just lines like that. He must have had so much fun with that role.
And also, while we're on CJ's great lines, we see on the TV here too, a sheriff a sheriff is out there and he's talking tough about how they're handling all these zombies, and it's Tom Savini in a little cameo, still looking like he did. How does he still looks like he did in 1978?
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
never changes. His hair never changes, and his mustache never changes.
yeah,
It's
So
amazing.
Tom Savini is a sheriff, and they're watching him on the TV, and CJ, he's saying, yeah, we're going to get all these zombies. And then Tom Savini throws on a pair of shades. And CJ is loving watching this guy.
Yeah.
He's like, see this guy here. And then CJ says, see, he looks at everybody pointing at the TV. He goes, see, America always sorts its shit out.
Yeah.
So yeah, CJ's a good character. And I will say, I was surprised that this was going to happen. And we'll talk about it as we go on. I did not see coming what CJ's arc in this movie was going to be.
Yeah,
like I didn't.
Right now, you hate this guy. He is.
You're thinking CJ's on the way to being torn apart by zombies and us going, yeah, because he's such an asshole.
Yep. I think I wrote that. CJ is an asshole.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's making life very difficult for everybody.
Uh,
So they've locked them inside this place. Our little group here, the security guards, but they have to go to the bathroom. It's really cruel. There's no bathroom in this place. CJ's like, you gotta hold it till morning. You're like, come on, man. And one of the other security guards does start letting people go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you can tell he's a nicer one. One of them is like a guy right out of, and I hope this doesn't sound bad for those of you in the ROTC. I apologize, but he does sound. The other guy sounds like he's just out of training. He's like, he's just not he's not a smart guy. He's very much a follower. But so this other guy you're talking about is nice. You can tell he's a nice guy.
Yeah, and so Sarah Polley has like a little breakdown in the bathroom.
Yeah,
and
she's crying. Poor Sarah Polley. No.
And then we see that they venturing out into the mall more, and we see that the guy down in the fountain that they wounded earlier is still thrashing around down there. The security guards come around. He's spazzing out in there, and they know him. They know him by name.
Ben Cozy. Hey,
yeah.
Look, it's Ben Cozy. He's a twitcher.
He's a twitcher. That's the term that one of them likes. He saw it on TV.
Tom Savini, I think, said it. Twitches.
He said some of them are twitchers, and so they're looking at him, and I guess they put him out of his misery.
Yeah, because this is where we learned. Oh, the TV said you got to shoot him in the head. I don't know why I'm sounding like I'm from Minnesota. The TV said you got to shoot him in the head. There, you got to shoot him. Yeah, Ben Cozy.
Yeah.
So they do that, and I thought, what a waste of a fountain, because now it's like blood and guts in there.
Ew.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah, and eventually they make their way back up. They come out on the roof, all of them, and to look out on everything and see everything. And they have things written on the roof.
Yeah, they're painting SOS on the roof.
Yep, painting SOS, things like that. And they look over and they see with binoculars across the parking lot, way on the other side, is a store called Andy's Guns. Andy's Gun World, is it? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, it could
Andy's
be Andy's Gun World. Yeah. It's one of those flat rooftops on it.
Yeah. And a guy's on top of it, waving to them.
Lo and behold, it's Andy, so it's owner operated.
Yes.
Owner operated.
Yeah, so Andy's up there, and you can see when they move the binoculars down, it's just zombies all around the bottom of his place. Like, he's not getting out of there.
Nope.
They're just swarming around down there.
Yep, and I think he's got a whiteboard. You know how every good gun shop has a big whiteboard? There's a big whiteboard, and he's able to write like something.
Maybe he was using it downstairs to put specials up, like daily specials.
Ammunition, 30% off.
30% off, yeah. Or maybe it was the schedule for the week for the employees or something, right?
Target practice, 11:30.
Yeah, right. So they realize, this guy's over there, and then a big military helicopter flies by and doesn't do anything. It just keeps going.
No, what a waste of paint. SOS.
And we're also seeing in this moment that more and more zombies are coming. So the parking lot is getting a little more full of zombies. Yeah. They're coming in that direction.
They've all had their coffee, so ready to go. It's a lot of zombies. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The beauty of a bigger budget and CGI, I guess, but yeah, a lot of zombies coming over.
Yeah, you can multiply them that way by CGI.
Yep. So CJ and his other cronies, they lock him up for the night, and then they're watching the television, and it's a cameo by the guy, the other police officer from Dawn of the Dead.
Peter.
Yeah.
Peter, the African American SWAT team member that was the hero of the last movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says the same line, which I think is cool, when there's no more room in hell, the dead. You know, I thought that was a nice nod. And then it's day one, really. This is like the first official day. So we had that disaster. So now this is day one in the mall, where this is their first sleepover morning in the mall. And then they all go back up to the roof again because there's they're looking out and there's this truck. It's like one of those, like, you know, a U-Haul van type of thing. So that's driving recklessly. And CJ goes, "How do you know they're not fucked up?" And Sarah Polley goes, "Well, for one thing, they're driving a truck." So But what I like about this scene is when they're on the roof, you got the security guards with the guns, and you have the captives, and you can see that technically you got one side who doesn't give a shit about anyone but themselves, and the other side, Sarah Polley's group, which really wants to sort of help each other and things like that. And this is where they get the upper hand of the security guards, because our friend who is a little sympathetic, the security guard, he helps him out. And so now the security guards have no guns and they have the guns. And now they decide that they want to help these people in the truck that are speeding towards the mall.
So yeah, they start pointing. They're pointing to the truck driver, like, "Down, go here. This is a way in." You know, they're pointing down from the roof.
Yeah.
And the truck is going, and the person does a backup right into the loading dock.
Yeah, it's like if you're counting zombies, like ding, ding, ding. I think they took out four zombies by backing the truck up and like whack, 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 whack.
Yeah.
And then it's the loading dock, yeah, like you said. So they got to back up that. But the two guys didn't realize they were backing up the truck. They thought that the people were just going to run out on the ramp. And so they're at the door. What a great scene where they're trying to open the door. It's like, open the door. I'm not opening the door. And then the fake out with the door where they go to open it and it's got a bolt on it. So they have to do it again. I really liked that. Was not even necessary, but it makes your... It
reminded me of we talked about in Dawn of the Dead, where they were running up. I don't know if they did this on purpose or this inspired it, where they ran up to one of the stores and they couldn't figure out how to open the door to the store in the mall. It was a glass door that slid in a weird way, and the zombies were approaching. But yeah, so this box truck has a bunch of people in it that have escaped, and they get them out of there and get them into the mall.
Well, this is where, Art, I want to ask you, when that director's cut, where they had just a little bit more gore, it was like an NC-17 rating. Did you see a one-armed man sort of walking around and then shoots a look towards them and starts hauling ass towards them? Did you see that?
I don't know. I don't. It doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, so I think this one was deemed too disgusting, but they had an amputee, and he's known as the Asian one-armed zombie or something like that. I don't know why they're pointing out that he's Asian, but he's like an in-shape guy with one arm, and he like beelines it towards those two guys. But it's not in the one we saw, but it's in my mind because I've seen that one a couple times.
Yeah, and they did use, I read, just like in the first movie, they did use actual amputees for a couple of zombies in this movie.
Yes, they did.
That are missing limbs.
They sure did.
So they get this group. We're getting our group of people in here.
Yeah, do you want to name them all?
I was surprised at the number of them. I'm like, wow, they're bringing in a good number of people in here.
Do you have their names too? You want to list off all the names?
I don't have their names, actually.
One of them's named Gail, a guy named Gail.
Nora.
There's a truck driver, the woman that's a truck driver. She reminds me of Large Marge's sister.
Well, she must have been the one who backed that truck right up to the.
Good.
Yeah, that I like that. That kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, no wonder she could just get them right up into the truck.
And she's like, she looks like she works at a truck stop. You know, she's got to be 60 or so. I thought great casting for that. And there's an unknown girl is kind of like, I guess, the eye candy for the movie.
Yeah. She's
And who else do we get, Art? An unknown at the time, right?
At the time is Ty Burrell, who's everybody knows as Phil on Modern Family. And it's interesting to see him. He's a real jerk. It's as if Phil had a douchebag twin brother, right? Like watching it.
Yes, his twin brother's like, whatever. I don't give a shit. I kept thinking he was going to look at the camera and be like, doing interviews. So yeah, we're in the mall and
it's like, for those of you who watch Modern Family, the character he plays, Phil, has some perverted tendencies that sometimes surface. And it's like, imagine that Phil leaning into all of those and leaning into that part of his personality. And that's what Ty Burrell is like.
Unless they wrote those lines, Art, he must have had some room to play, because his lines, some of the ones he says, I think are so quippy and fun. And there's also, I want to point out, they bring out a very large woman in a wheelbarrow, right? And she's in like a nightie, and she is not. She's very bloated and not looking good.
No,
she's on the arm.
Yeah. Yes, and they wheel her out. She's not looking good, so they kind of put her in a room, and this is where we learn that the town that Ving Rhames wanted to go to, and that on the news they were saying, get to this place, so therefore you'll be safe here. We learned they just came from there.
Yep.
And they said, nope, it's all overrun. Everything's gone.
And one of them goes, so everyone is dead, and Ty Burrell goes, well, dead-ish.
Right. Which I read, the guy who made Shaun of the Dead, Edgar Wright, said that he always felt that for this movie, he's talking about Dawn of the Dead 2004, he thought that would have been a better title. That's what he thought for that movie, Deadish. He was dead serious. He goes, I think they should have called it Deadish.
Oh, he was deadish serious. Oh,
yes.
No. We'll cut that.
So we're getting a group of people here, and the movie isn't gonna spend a lot of time letting you get to know these people at all.
Nope.
This isn't a movie interested in letting us build some backstory. They're gonna give you the barest minimum and sort of let the actors do some of the work here. As a matter of fact, I read that they were even trying. I think as they were filming, they felt bad for some of these people because they didn't have enough to do. Like, for instance, you said the eye candy. I think the character's name was Monica. I think they wrote a few extra things in here. I think that was her name.
Did I say eye candy?
You did say eye candy.
Not for everyone. I'm just saying I retract my statement.
But she's an example. Like, I think they tried to add another scene But I will say that the way this movie is overall structured, it's probably better to just keep it moving along.
Oh yeah,
I don't think we need to slow down. At all.
We're not
for
here
any
for
of
a drama.
This.
We're not here for the
no.
Mm-mm.
And so we're getting also, like you said, we're learning here that our pregnant couple, one of them there's a scratch on her arm. The pregnant woman, there's a scratch on her arm. So already we're like, oh boy.
Yep, Ben Cozy.
How's this?
It was Ben Cozy.
Yeah.
Ben Cozy got her.
Yeah, the guy in the fountain. And immediately my mind is like, ooh, how's the movie going to deal with this pregnant? Because your brain immediately, right, Erik, goes two ways. Like, we're like, okay, so the mom's going to turn into a zombie.
Yep.
But is the baby going to be all right? And then this is what I'm thinking. And then they're going to have to protect that baby because it's like a real baby. Or is the baby going to be something weird? Or is the baby going to die? Is the mom going to eat the baby? I don't So my mind immediately, those things start appearing in my mind. What's going to happen with this storyline? So I actually really appreciated that about this movie, that they introduced this idea, because I'm like, ooh, that's going to be gnarly to have a pregnant woman turn zombie.
It's sort of a nod to the Dawn of the Dead, because we had the main character was pregnant then.
Yes.
But this woman's pregnant. She's like 8 months, 9 months. She's pregos. She's ready to go. But this is where we learn the rules of the zombie, what happens right here, because our really weird looking woman who's in the wheelbarrow, she dies in the wheelbarrow, and I hope she's dead. One of them goes, anybody know her name? No, we don't know her name. She died without a name? But not for long, because what I did, Art, was I counted out, and it was 10 to 12 seconds. Doink, that one eye. She's got one like closed up eye, and then the other one goes doink, and it's that yellowy, and she gets right up. This was good, and quick too. But Sarah Polley jumps into action with a fire poker and just takes her out right through the eye, the bad eye, not the good one.
Yeah, and this is where we start to get into that thing. I know you've said this before with zombie movies, where you're like, people are stabbing something right through people's heads. I think the human skull is kind of strong. Like, even, I know it's the eye, but you're like, it seems like people can easily just sort of stab somebody in the forehead. Yeah. Like, I know Walking Dead does that a lot. They just take a knife and stab right through the forehead, like right, and then they yank it right out, as if it's like a cantaloupe.
Yeah, like the hardest bone, I think, is one of the hardest bones in the body. It's the human skull. No, right through it. Just a knife will cut right through it. It's probably a ginsu. They'll cut through it.
So this is where we learn that when you're bit, you're gonna turn. That's the danger here. And we know that one of the people there is bit. One of the guys is bit, who's come in on this group.
Yep, nice guy. No, he's not doing well. And you can see how there's another one where you can see how it works. Is you can see how rapidly he looks a little sick, but as moments pass, he keeps getting ill and kind of drawn out. So what you see here is when you're bitten, that's when you can kind of get weird looking. But if you get bitten and die, when you come back, you seem to be not as infected. Does that make sense to you? Like, they look really gross if they're bitten, they're dying. But if you get bit and die, like the husband, he looked pretty regular except for his eyeballs. So it's not like it does something to your skin unless it's slowly infecting you. I thought that was a cool choice.
Yeah, you can sort of see the progression almost moment to moment, because what they've decided is they need to put him down. It's pretty clinical, them making this decision.
Yep.
And they come in and is Nicole his daughter, or is it just somebody? It's his daughter. His daughter, and she's with him, and it's sad because there's no way around this, and he accepts it pretty willingly. I don't know. People in these movies, I guess they've seen it, what happens to you. And I think I might, if I was in that situation, go, are you sure we don't want to see if there's something like that we can do? Like something just.
But they know there's nothing.
I'd be that guy. I think I'd be that guy.
Aren't you just saw that woman in the wheelbarrow, which I will point out. I love the fact that this is a fact. Is that woman is played by a man.
Yeah, stunt person.
I love that. And just like the grotesque, like big jowls. I love that. Yeah. So Frank, unfortunately, he has a beautiful scene, but I swear to God, I played it back without, I could have put the subtitles on. I didn't. He says something, but he says something along the lines of just wait till the last moment because I need to live every moment or something like that. And he was so underused, this actor, but such a great, memorable scene where he just dies in front of you, just. So I thought that was good. And then you hear him get shot, but you don't see him get shot. Right?
It's very sad. So now we know the rules. We know that you're going to turn.
Yep.
We know that this is what's going to happen to you if you get bit. And we know that Luda, our pregnant woman, is bit. And they're kind of living in their own little area.
Yeah, where's that
Like
art?
the toy store? Is it a Toys R Us type
No,
of store?
it's a children's baby store, like nursery store. So it's got everything you need for a young mother, you know? But he doesn't tell anybody. They just decide to go off on their own. Really suspicious.
It's very suspicious. As a matter of fact, Sarah Polley keeps clocking it because she keeps saying like, "Hey, you know, I'm a nurse. I could check in on her. I should probably check in on her." And he's like, "Nope, got it covered. We're gonna go into this baby store that I've put tarp over over the doors.
Nobody's
so nobody can look
about
in.
that art. Nobody's thinking, no, they're fine. They probably just want to, be alone.
Right.
Not.
And then now things we're gonna settle in now, right? We should say that the security guards are now kind of in with the group, right? They at first they had locked CJ up, right?
Yeah. They just took their guns now. Now they're like, you guys are assholes, but you can hang with us.
Yeah. So now we're gonna have a montage that kind of shows how time is passing here in the mall.
Yep.
And they show everything from, we see this is where we get a relationship gets established between Ving Rhames is up on the roof and him and Andy at the gun shop across. They hold up signs to each other that say things, and they even play chess by holding up these signs back and forth across the way. So this is part of the montage, and it's to that song is a Down with the Sickness.
Get down with the sickness.
Down with the sickness. Yeah. And we're seeing people having sex, right?
Oh yeah, guys going. Modern Family Dad is very naughty.
Woo!
Oh my.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, Gale, I don't know why I remember his name. He's trying on women's shoes.
Yes, I noticed that
and,
too.
The nice security guard and the daughter getting a little cozy.
Yes,
and she's an artist. She likes to spray paint, which my first thought was, my God, the fumes. How about that? I was thinking, she shouldn't be doing that in there. They're gonna get sick from the fumes.
Yeah, so that's all progressing, and there's some comedy between Ving Rhames and the guy over on the other building because Ving Rhames, they hold up and Ving Rhames tells him the news that city is gone. He's like, bad news.
Yeah.
Port Arthur is gone.
Yeah.
And then the other guy holds up what's the bad news?
Right.
Like, so I thought that was kind of a funny moment.
And then they say, I think we need a new game. So they come up with a new game.
Yes.
So we have to let people know that at this point, when you look down into the parking lot, it's not full of cars. It's empty, but it is packed with zombies. It looks like a zombie concert.
Andy's all over on his shop, and he's got a gun on a tripod, probably a sniper rifle.
Yep.
And their new game is they tell him a celebrity name that they're looking at in the crowd, and he has to shoot that zombie.
Yep.
And see if he's correct. That's the game, is like, am I thinking the same person that they are? And so there's a Burt Reynolds looking guy. Burt Reynolds,
they didn't show Rosie O'Donnell. That would have been...
No, but they did mention it. They did say, Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then I think this is, we're showing them, which they didn't spend too much time on, like you said. So they're all at the coffee shop, Hallowed Grounds, and they're just kind of talking about their lives. So you get to know them a little bit, so you feel for them a little, but only a couple of them.
But we get the feeling that Michael this is Jake Weber, the sort of normal guy. And he said he was a bad husband, but a great father.
Yeah.
That's what he said. It's actually kind of a nice bit of dialogue I liked in that part of the movie.
And I think that was enough because you like him anyway.
You like him.
The other ones you don't really know much about.
No, you don't. And so, we get to know people just a little bit better.
Except they don't get to know the pregnant woman and her husband.
No.
Because now she's all hog-tied to the bed.
This is where we learn what's going on behind those tarps.
Yeah, and she's turning. She's like, because at first, this poor actor, she had nothing to do. Nothing.
Yeah.
So they must have hired her for her zombie-like abilities that she had.
And I think we might also be noticing that her pregnant belly, we see little movements in there that might not be human in those.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, she's not a zombie yet. She's still like
No. But we're catching on to some things
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
so-
Weird little side story, to be honest. I thought.
Yeah, but I'm liking it because I want to see where that's going to go, because that's something I don't think I had seen in a zombie movie yet.
Yes, right.
This so they're there. The power goes out, so they're going to have to go down to get the power back on, which means they're going to have to go down into the parking garage area of the mall.
Creepy, empty parking garage. Didn't that remind you, Art, of the guy in the other Dawn of the Dead, where he's in that he's in the room by himself and there's the zombie shadow going around? Remember that?
Yes,
This I think is a nod to that.
And they had all the machinery going on and the zombies.
Yeah. So it's
we're down there.
The two kind of jerky, CJ and the jerky security guard, and Ving Rhames and our guy in the white shirt.
Yeah.
So they're all
Michael, I think. Yeah.
And they're trying to get the power on, and there's something in the garage that they keep seeing. And I love this scene. I'm not sure I understand the zombie workings here, but this scene, the thing that they're like, well, I saw something, and out comes not a zombie, but a dog. Because everybody needs a dog in the movie, right?
But I was wondering, as the dog approached, I'm like, oh, when the dog gets closer to them, is it going to go like, it's going to be zombie dog?
You don't remember seeing this before. So tell me about this scene. How did you feel about what's happening next?
What's happening next?
Yeah, because when they're in there and they're relieved that it's a dog, and the security guard is like, oh man, I told you I heard something. And behind him,
is
something on the ceiling. That freaked the hell out of me, because there's a zombie hanging off the pipes of the garage and he's got no legs. Another amputee, and he drops on the security guard and chops
how did he get up in the pipes?
How did he get up there?
Was he waiting for them, or like?
I see. This is where, like, did he have a job as like maintenance, and he got his legs bit off, and he somehow decided to climb the wall?
Before he turned, he climbed up into the pipes to get away from everything, and and
then decided to stay there. I mean, it's a great scare. It's really cool.
It's a great.
But I just had questions about that zombie's motives.
I had some questions too about this whole scene. I was a little confused of the geography of everything in this scene. I was confused about where we were, like where things lead to, how they get back, like what. So I will agree with you. But this is where our jerky security guard, he gets taken down.
Oh, yeah.
He gets taken down. This was interesting to me because the movie is very violent as far as it shows, like when people get shot, we get a lot of splurts of blood. And my understanding is the unrated cut, those things are all a little bit more exaggerated, all these shots and everything. But this particular thing, so he starts getting dragged to the ground. It's the famous type of zombie thing where you're just being brought down. But we don't, with this guy, get the pulling open of the guts and the feasting. We just see him sort of go down in the mass of zombies. And I was a little not disappointed, but I was a little like, oh, it felt like they, for budget reasons or something, I don't know, but they pulled the punch there on this guy, because I would have been happy with that guy. He was kind of a little bit of a jerk.
Yeah, you want to see get pulled apart. But the budget you mentioned was a zombie movie had just come out and it tanked, so they slashed the budget of this movie.
Oh,
and I forget what it was. It's one of those just movies. I think it was named after a video game.
Oh, House of the Dead.
House of the Dead.
House of the Dead.
Not at all like the video game, by the way. I love that video game.
But yes, they said that it had tanked, yeah. And so I was like, oh wow, that's interesting, because up to now I've seen some viscera and gore, and when they shoot people, I see the splurts, and I was like, oh, they're not going there with this guy. Yeah. But then they get behind a fence there, and they roast the zombie. They
With the convenient gas tank that's right there, it's like you can gas up inside the mall. Apparently,
I guess that makes sense because the shuttle buses are going to be
Or
down
maybe,
there, but
I guess.
but the thing is, like, I mean, this is the other thing, Eric. They put the gas, right? They kind of spray these zombies with gasoline.
Yeah.
Right. So it's probably getting on the floor and stuff. And then they light it up, right? So the zombies are all lit up, on fire. And it's really people, I will say, really people on fire, stunt people pulling at the fence. But then I'm like, they've got a gasoline fire now going in. Technically, they should have a large gasoline fire now in this parking garage that's attached to the mall.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is something that would go out very easily.
But when we're talking about a movie about the living dead,
I know.
I'm
I
not
shouldn't.
so sure that I love that about we have to still.
But to our credit, Eric, some movies we give them credit because they do think things
They
through.
do. Yeah.
And this one, I think it's a great sequence. I like it, but I was a little confused as to what was
what
happening
a
there.
shitty fire alarm system they have there. The sprinklers didn't go off. What a
Yeah.
horrible place to have a car fire. That's what I.
Or did they go off? Maybe
Did they?
maybe that's what happened. Maybe they went off and that's what put the
100%.
fire out. And my whole rant is just stupid
No.
because Zack Snyder thought of that.
Yeah, thank
and
you,
James
Zach.
Gunn
And we're
thought of
sorry
that.
if you did.
I'm sorry. I
If you did
apologize, but
have
I'm
water, we're
I'm not cutting it out
No.
because I want other filmmakers
Yeah.
to know I'm watching you.
Yeah.
I'm watching you.
Oh, now we're seeing the pregnant girl officially die.
Mhm. Yes.
It then comes back as a zombie, but I counted and I was a little pissed off because it took her like 25 to 30 seconds to come back because we had to see him listening to if the baby's alive. Look at me.
Yeah,
I'm doing my mic like it's like a pregnant belly.
Like it's great. You're using what you got. You're going with what you
But it, baby belly. You feel something?
But it is creepy because you're thinking, oh, is it gonna suddenly come out of there and grab him or something? Like, because he's seeing it too. It's like things are moving like out of the stomach.
Yeah.
So right now I'm like, okay, this is not gonna be a regular baby, whatever comes out of here. So
Yeah, you don't normally see a regular baby's handprint.
yeah. But it's pretty gruesome. And so Norma, truck driver woman, is going to check on them, and she comes in.
Yeah, this is her only great scene because the baby, he delivers the baby.
Yeah.
And it's dead.
Yeah.
And
she comes in, Norma comes in, and it's all wrapped up
Yeah.
in a blanket. So we can't, we're going to talk about budget here because they said this doesn't even look like a doll in his hands. It looks like a wrapped up bunch of towels. But to their credit, Zack Snyder did say they had something much more elaborate thought out for this whole thing.
Yeah. That
the baby would come out and then attack the mother and then attack him.
Yeah.
It would be like the baby would be this crazy zombie baby.
Yeah, from it.
And they, like you said, the budget was not there.
No.
So they had to really scale back. But
thanks a lot.
Norma comes in, she's looking, she's putting everything together as to what's happening here. And she pulls out her weapon and basically she's having a shootout with Mekhi Phifer.
Yeah, because she shoots the zombie mom. And he's like, you want to kill my family? And yeah, I love the shootout. They both die. Everybody hears the gunshots. And here's what I also point out. We're getting the zombie manual here. They don't come back from the dead.
Which I'm about
the dad and the truck driver both get shot and they're dead. But they don't rise up as zombies because
they weren't headshots, were they?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So you have to be, in order to come back from the dead in this movie, you have to be infected. And some movies like this, The Walking Dead, if you die, it doesn't matter how you die, you come back as a zombie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think James Gunn said that they went more with in his draft, they went more of the screenplay. They went more with like more of a supernatural than a scientific idea.
Yeah. Yep.
For the zombies. So everybody else comes in and they're they come into this sort of carnage that's all over the place. It's the woman's tied up in the bed,
Dead.
and Mekhi Phifer, they're dead, but the baby isn't dead. Yeah, we hear hear the baby, and like I said, once again, they, the baby, what the prop, before we get to see the baby, the prop doesn't even look like a baby. It's not even moving, I think. It's like, remember when American Sniper, he had that stupid baby looking thing in American Sniper? This was even probably worse than that. But they then unfurl the little bundle of joy that's there, and it's a baby. And I guess they used a real baby and put with makeup. I think I heard that.
I don't know.
For one of the shots, they put makeup on this baby.
Yeah,
because I think I read that Zack Snyder was talking about it on the DVD commentary. And somebody said, well, what did the parent think about their baby being this zombie baby? And I think, if I remember correctly, Zack Snyder was like, well, I think they were just standing over to the side going, oh, this is great. My baby's in a major motion picture. Like, they weren't thinking.
They don't care.
They don't care.
I think that these babies were the catalyst they have a line of monster baby dolls. I don't know if you know this, and one of them looks like that little Dawn of the Dead. They have a vampire one, they have a werewolf one. So I think the zombie one they went, hey, this is a good idea. So very realistic zombie baby. You can get one if you want. I can get you one for the holiday season if you like. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's so it's creepy. So we don't get it. It doesn't go like crazy and attack anybody or anything like that, which I was hoping for. So this scene for me, I love the build-up. I love the shootout between Mekhi Phifer and Norma, the truck driver,
with a cigarette.
And yes,
she had a cigarette in her mouth.
Yeah. But then the baby build-up, I thought it just was like, and then the next thing you know, the baby's dispatched with.
I agree with you. I think they probably, whoever's providing the funds said, nope, you can't do this. And that was really the setup for the whole thing, was the zombie baby would attack the mom, attack people, and it would be really cool. But instead, after all that, all we get is the 1.5 second shot of this little baby. And then
it wasn't, I mean, you're in a mall, right? You could go to Sears, get the family portrait, right?
Yeah.
You could
baby's trying to bite people, like, get back in here for the photo. Dangle a little,
put the baby on the horse thing, putting the quarters in, like, just
little hat on it.
Seeing the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, like all that. Ving Rhames could be Santa Claus.
Yeah, and the zombie mom's he's like, this is my family. This is my family I always wanted. So now they're having a funeral
in front of hallowed grounds, with hallowed grounds over the back of it. Yeah,
they can all have coffee while they're. This is an interesting point, because this is a funeral because these bodies aren't coming back.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that was pretty cool, and this is where they realized that they can't die here. They want to get out and live.
Yeah, and they all are like, I don't want to live the rest of my life in this mall just waiting for one of us to die, or waiting for this to happen. We got to try something. Yep. And then they're like, well, we got these shuttle buses downstairs, and we can up armor them and drive out. And then it's kind of funny because Ty Burrell says it almost as a joke.
Yeah.
He says, like, well, while we're at it, why don't we just drive over to my marina? And I have a boat there, and we'll just take my boat. But everybody's like, wait a minute, that just might work. But what I like about Ty Burrell's performance in the moment is he's kind of rolling with it, that like, this stupid idea really is like, we're gonna do this, right?
Yeah.
And
I like the exposition. Now I see in movies all the time now, Art, is exposition where somebody's only in it for exposition. But I like it. For me, it wasn't exposition; it was wrap up. Because CJ's like, so you're telling me that we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do this, and everybody's like, yeah, that's the idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good.
And then it's montage.
Yes, because now they got to up armor the vehicle. They're putting stuff on the sides of it, and they're creating all these things that we know are going to pay off. Michael's becoming quite a craftsman. He creates a chainsaw that he takes it so you can there's a slot on the side, and from inside you can take a chainsaw and slide it back and forth,
Yeah,
and you
he's
can
like-
cut off the zombies,
Yeah, he
right?
goes, if they're ever on the bus, you can just take them right off. Now this is a shuttle bus, right?
Yes.
Okay, so did they cut the sides of the shuttle bus to make these grooves?
I couldn't understand if he did that, and that's what he was so
Because
proud of.
they're all, apparently CJ's an awesome welder because they're welding shit on there.
Yeah.
They happen to find a snowplow. Why didn't they just use the snowplow then? But they put they put the snow pusher on there, and our friend who does nothing but graffiti paints it. And there's two of them, right? There's two shuttle buses.
Two shuttle buses,
So they
yeah.
deck them out with the freaking barbed wire that's on the inside of the mall in the garage once again.
Mm-hmm. And Ving Rhames brings up, I like this plan, but we got to bring Andy, the guy over at the gun shop. We got to take him with us.
Yeah, because he's not.
But there's a problem.
What's the problem?
But there's a problem because Andy, Ving Rhames puts up a thing. He's 5 days till we're going to go. But Andy puts up a sign, hungry, with a big exclamation point. And I will say, Andy's ripped. When he held up that sign, I was like, he doesn't look like he's emaciated. He looks like he's jacked, that guy.
Which is also funny because they made it a point to put makeup on this guy to make him look emaciated. But I thought, well, is he doing push-ups? Well,
yeah, he looked in really, really good shape. You can see all the definition of his muscles. But they're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Andy, and then they come up with a great plan. This is a great plan. This plan is
it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I like before the plan, they're like, who's going to go get Andy? And Ty Burrell goes, well, why don't we draw straws? And the loser has to run across the parking lot with a ham sandwich. I thought it was really funny. Yeah. But that's why they introduced the dog.
Yeah, because they're noticing, Ving Rhames is noticing that Nicole is playing with Chip, the dog.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Chip, and she's throwing things and he's fetching them and coming back. And he's like, Eureka!
Yeah.
We'll send Chip over with food to Andy.
Yeah. And walkie-talkies.
And walkie-talkies, which is great. Yeah. So then they can talk to each other. And I was confused. Now, I watched the movie twice for the podcast, right? Somebody says they're not interested in animals. See, it's okay to send Chip because they're not interested in animals, but I couldn't see where earlier in the movie that was established anywhere. Did you catch that?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
It's because they probably watched other horror movies and they knew about zombies, so they figured. But Walking Dead, they did not adhere to that at all.
No.
The Walking Dead, which I didn't like because I thought, well, then there's nothing left on the planet then. Like the zombies are eating everything.
Zombie trees.
Yeah, it's just there's
zombie shrubs.
The zombies just eating like mangoes.
Right.
So I thought, well, anything that moves, the zombies would eat it. But this one, they inexplicably know that they don't eat animals.
Yeah.
Which that leads it to a little supernatural because why?
Because
animals.
I was actually laughing. So they're lowering Chip down on a winch. The dog, he's so cute, Chip, with his he's got his Pax little saddlebags on the side of him, and they're lowering him down into a horde of zombies. And Nicole's like, no, and then the guy's like, don't worry, they don't have any interest in him. And I'm sitting there going, how do we know that? Like, how do we know that they have no interest in him? But they don't. Chip gets the bottom. It doesn't seem like they're interested in him at all. Now, Zack Snyder did say that they did have an idea that they were going to have some zombie dogs start chasing Chip. Like if there was going to be that aspect to it. Suddenly, after he got past the human zombies, I think they were going to have a pack of zombie dogs start chasing Chip towards but once again, budget and everything, they had to do away with that.
But also then, why wouldn't, so how did the dog
I don't know.
get zombified?
I don't know, but they mentioned that was an idea that they had. Was that they would have like zombie dogs.
Thank goodness we see zombie dogs in other movies because God knows we need them.
Because so Chip gets over and gets it's like a steel doggy door that he can lift up.
He makes his way
and then
all
close
the way across the parking lot, all the way across the parking lot. But just because Andy has a whistle.
Yeah, Andy's whistling, and so Chip knows to go to the whistle.
I guess so.
Yeah. And so
Very
Chip
talented
goes
dog.
over. Chip gets through this little door. There's a bunch of zombies. And I will say, Andy takes a long time to close that door after Chip gets in because it gives the zombies. One of them goes over and just puts his fingers under it and is like, and lifts it back up. Like these zombies in this movie, they kind of know what they're doing. I mean, you joked a lot in that last movie about how you're like, zombies can climb ladders and they can climb stairs and balance on things. And these ones are like, they understand how to operate things very quick. So this zombie pulls it up and we just see, it is kind of scary. All these zombies just start going through the doggy door. And then we get to hear Andy on the thing and Andy doesn't know the rules yet.
No, he does not. He hasn't seen a single movie about zombies, so he don't know. Yeah, and he says, yeah, I'm okay. Man, those things can bite. And everybody's just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and we see everybody. Anna, I think, Sarah Polley says, should we tell him? And Ving Rhames sort of shakes his head. Don't even tell him what's happening.
Nope.
And which I think is kind of bad. I guess they're thinking it would take him too long to explain and have him kill himself. But I'm like, they're just going to let him turn. And meanwhile, they're talking to Andy on the thing. They're on the roof and they turn around and Nicole's gone. And they notice that the truck that they came in on, that group, is barreling over towards Andy's. And I was like, wow, people love their pets, man. People love their pets because she hauls ass across and slams the truck into the side of the gun shop to help. You know, she's just worried. I don't think she gives a shit about Andy, to tell you the truth.
No,
she's just worried about
dog.
Chip. Yeah,
Loves
she's
that
worried
dog,
about Chip.
Unfortunately.
So she gets out and we can hear her inside. She has a radio and she's like, oh my God, it's blood everywhere. And then Andy's coming down and she gets locked in a closet. And I'm like, boy, this has been a great plan. This is like really, really a good plan. So now they come up with an even better plan on top of this, Eric.
Yep. I'm also thinking, well, this could have been a plan in the first place because all of a sudden they realize there's the whole fucking underground that leads directly almost in front of Andy's place via this underground
sewer system or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they decide they're going to do that to get her. But they also, I think their real motivation is they need more ammunition because they're out.
The ammo, yeah. Because they're running out. They count it all out, and it's not a lot, actually, that they have. It's sort of like, we're got to get all this ammunition. Oh, yeah, Nicole's here. That's right. We'll get her, too.
Nicole.
But
she's the one who had the dad that died earlier. Is that spray paint?
So they fight through the zombies. A lot of shooting. A lot of shooting zombies in this movie. I have to say, it's like action oriented. So much more than previous movies where it's like there are just shootouts with boom, 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 boom.
Well, because
they're just
the zombies are so
shooting
freaking fast.
Yeah, exactly.
I will point out that they our guy with the boat, volunteers to hang back to the door that's closed to the mall, and they let this jackass be the one to let them back in if something goes wrong. So he's not with them.
Yeah, so they go over there and they get into the shop and there's Andy and Ving Rhames has to deliver the coup de grace to Andy.
And it's a great effect too. It's a practical effect.
Yes, it's the head blows right off.
Half of his head just moved.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And, Ving Rhames, of course, had to do it.
And now they got to get back to the
we realize CJ's not so much of an asshole now. He's sort of an asset in a way.
Yes. Yeah. CJ's turning a corner and we're realizing he's becoming sort of a leader, a little heroic. They get back down in the sewers through the manhole.
They just left that damn manhole cover open.
Yes.
And
the zombies are dropping down through there.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, he drops and he breaks his legs when he falls down through. And this is CJ's heroic moment. He grabs the guy by the scruff of the collar and then he gives the guy 2 pistols. So he's pulling him backwards through the sewer and the guy with the pistols is picking off zombies behind him.
Yeah.
CJ's bringing him But then they catch up
Yeah,
eventually.
but this is a scene where you can almost see like Guardians of the Galaxy type of thing.
Yes.
But I love that
And-
actor. He was just like, oh, trying to shoot him. But yeah, there's no way he gets at.
He gets in, but CJ puts him down
Yep.
right before he says, "Kill me!" Just as the zombies are coming over the screen right above his face.
Yep.
They get out, they get up the stairs. They're getting up the stairs, and it's locked. The door is locked.
Yep, because
Yep.
Ty's not there, man. He's just not there. And what I love about this scene is the zombies are chasing them, and for some reason they have a little standoff that's just a few seconds. All the zombies are like,
Yes. Like they all stop on the stairwell, like, do we keep going? And Zack Snyder himself, to his credit, says that makes no sense. Like he says to this in I think interviews when he's asked about it, he said that moment doesn't really make sense with zombies, that they would pause like that
right,
and stop.
but it's
like
a
that.
great moment. It's just a 2-second standoff.
Right.
Yeah. And then our heroine opens the door for them.
Yes, and takes out a few zombies. She starts shooting,
she's
and
good.
she's good.
Too many, so the door stays open. So they're now in the mall.
They're in the mall. They're running through the mall. They're chasing them. And what does Ty Burrell say when they come out? They're like, "We're gonna deal with you later." But he says something funny when they all come up, like, "Oh, hey, sorry, I wasn't there. You're supposed to man the door." But they gotta haul ass. So,
but they do have to use the elevator. And the best line in the movie is from TJ, who improvised the line because there was nothing.
There was no music.
Yeah,
there was no music playing.
Yep, they're in the elevator, and it. Which song is it?
Air Supply.
Air Supply.
Air Supply.
Is it? I'm all out of love.
All out of love.
And he goes,
Air Supply.
I love this song. Right.
Yeah.
Just little moments where you realize the future of the director or the writer. Just fun bits.
They get to the shuttle buses, they load in them,
and they have to barrel through the closed doors of the garage, right?
Yeah, this is action movie stuff coming out. But then they're in just a sea of zombies, and they're plowing them down, but it's overwhelming. It's like there's so many that even though they have like all these things set up, like a snowplow, like you said, they're getting bogged down with all these zombies around them.
Yeah,
it's just a teeming scene.
And it's a great scene because it's night. It's dark of night, and they're only lit by the lights that they put on these buses now. It almost looks like you're going on a safari tour for zombies, but they left the cages open so all the zombies are out. It kind of looked like that. So I thought that was a really cool scene because you've never seen it before. You've never seen action hordes of zombies like this. So you think these people are screwed.
Yeah, they're completely screwed. But they have thought of it. We saw earlier when they were building these things, we saw CJ measuring like a propane tank at one point, which I will mention, Eric, was a little weird because all he did was, it was one of those things, he just took a tape measure and went across the propane tank, but it didn't look like he was measuring. Like, I don't know what he was doing. And he just went, and then he wrote like 19 inches or something. And I'm like, what was he measuring on the propane tank?
He's a professional.
And so now we know why CJ was doing that, because they throw a propane tank out the back and there is a zombie who, do you want to describe this zombie, Eric?
I think
you
go ahead first and I'll add to it if I need to.
This zombie looks like The Rock and John Cena had a baby, and then it was inflated by a tire pump, even bigger. He is a massive, muscular man, and he has the propane, and he's holding it above his head.
Holds it up
in the midst of the zombies. He really stands out because he's also not wearing a top.
No,
but he's
not. You know, I think we're always mashing. It's like if somebody had a baby, but I think you nailed it pretty well. The only guy I can think of where you go, this is unusual to see this zombie, is in the vampire movie with Kiefer Sutherland, which I love, of course, and the name
Lost Boys?
Boys, of course, where that guy's the Rock, the guy singing "Pay Back the Night," and It looks like Conan the Barbarian. It's just so out of place.
So, yeah, because you don't see those people like in real life. I wonder if like, because we've seen in these zombie movies, everybody's like, they do what they do what they know. And I just want to see like a gym, like the Gold's Gym, and like the zombies are in there, like pumping iron.
Yeah.
They're
Falling
doing
off.
like lat pull downs and
Yep.
things. And why is he picking it up and holding it over his head? I just,
Because they gotta shoot it.
We'll shoot the propane tank, and it's just a great shot. It's boom, and it's like a shockwave that runs out, flaming through all these zombies all over the place. And I guess the idea is that these hastily reinforced shuttle buses are not affected by this gigantic explosion that roasts people.
Yes.
Like, I mean, this looks like Apocalypse Now after they drop the napalm on the village, right? This just looks...
It reminds me of Sauron in Lord of the Rings when he goes, when he dies, and everybody falls back.
Yeah. And yeah, so they've basically cleared the parking lot of all but a couple. I do have to give a hand to the zombies that are hanging in there. There's like a scattered few that survived this.
The enormous blast from the propane tank that you put on your grill near your house. So let's all be careful, folks, when we're bringing that home from Home Depot.
Good point.
Oh my God.
That was the one. Yeah, one propane.
Wow. Those things have a lot. They're potent.
I mean, I imagine they could create quite an explosion, but that was like nuclear.
Take out the neighborhood while you're flipping hamburgers.
But the shuttle buses are fine because they start pulling out of the parking lot. And I think it's starting to be dawn. We're seeing some light in the streets as they're plowing through the streets.
Yeah.
And they're looking on the sides, and there's a zombie hanging on the side in the rearview mirror.
We do get to see them when they're plowing through the zombies use that chainsaw. Like Ty Burrell's like, and cutting them off, like all the legs falling off.
But you know what, Eric? I do think that they should have had a little more training with the chainsaw.
Just a little bit. And maybe driving skills would add.
Yeah, they should have had some training with that. They should have took people aside, had safety briefings.
Uh-huh.
They should, this is one of those things. I know they didn't have a lot of time.
No.
I know they had to leave really early, but they did have a lot of time while they were building these shuttle buses, and they could have said, "Hey guys, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about chainsaw
safety, and maybe have hooked it up so that it was permanently. I don't know, but
because in one of the trucks, they're going on the side. They're doing it, and the other truck, a guy has the saw. It's it's going.
What's his name? Glenn, not Glenn. Gale. Gale has it. He has that chainsaw.
Yep, Gale. And Monica is in that one. Yeah. They're driving pretty wild through the streets.
Really
and
a little too fast for the fact that there's not a lot of zombies.
But they do want to get what they're going. Yeah. They got to get to that dock. But he's sort of something we've all done when we're on a public transit, where the train sort of jerk stops and you run into somebody else. And I want people listening who haven't seen the movie to imagine that happening if you're on a subway, but you're holding a chainsaw that's running, and you sort of jolt forward, and there's people right next to you. Monica's right next to Gale.
Yep.
And
oh man!
And the chainsaw. It's one of the best effects in the movie.
It's practical effect.
And it goes right. It's sideways, sort of a diagonal down. It goes down pretty far through her shoulder, like collarbone, right down, getting to almost the breast area. It goes right down through.
Yep.
And but the truck.
The young security guard's in there too.
It collapses and rolls over, smashes.
Monica's no longer eye candy.
No,
she's like pasta now. She looks like a pasta dish.
Yeah, Monica's gone, and then the thing tips over, and we see Ty survive the crash. So Ty pops out the skylight of this, so it's on its side, and he pops out, but not for long. Ty looks up above his head and a zombie drops right down on him. Now, this is another part of the movie, Eric, where I thought Ty Burrell's character was such a douchebag dick through the whole movie. I thought we were going to see him really get it.
Well,
I thought we were going to see, but they just kind of cut from the zombie jumping on him.
Art, we have to remember there is a payoff for the asshole in this guy, because he does say on the rooftop at once to Sarah, he's like, look, if I ever turn into one of those things, feel free to just shoot me in the head. And she's like, oh, I will. Like, don't worry, I will.
She's not a fan. Yeah, she
like,
is
don't
not
worry,
a fan.
I will.
Yeah, so they all come running over to the truck and they look in and Gail's dead, Monica's dead. They're just all these people are gone.
Mm-hmm.
However, the good little security guard there, he survived this.
Yep.
And he tells them that Steve Ty Burrell had took off on them.
Point out here right now, our surviving team is the young couple, the spray paint girl, the security guard, Bing, Sarah, Michael, the guy in the white shirt, the nice guy, and CJ. Right?
Yep.
That's what you're left.
Yeah, so they're alive, and Ty Burrell comes out, and he's a zombie now. Clearly, he's changed. Our 12 seconds has gone by, Eric's. And Anna, Sarah Polley, gets to shoot him.
Yep.
We're all waiting for that.
Right in the head, and that's the payoff. It's like, okay, he's an asshole, and he just goes, boom, he's dead. He was a loser zombie. He got nothing.
So they're back in the truck and back in the other shuttle bus, heading towards the marina.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get down there. I was like, wow, they drive right down to the dock, right?
Into the dock.
Into the dock. So it's kind of a good idea, I guess, because it would block any zombies from getting onto the dock. After they did it, I thought,
we point out that there's now a horde of zombies chasing them. And I'll also point out one of the things that we almost point out for every horror movie is it is now all of a sudden morning.
It's daylight, complete daylight. Yeah.
So it was nighttime we don't know what happened there, but it's morning now, and they crashed the vehicle. And it's now, I guess.
And they all get out. They're running onto the dock, but Ving is back in the back with CJ. So imagine the back of the truck open. CJ's shooting out the back of the truck, and Ving is like, come on, let's go. And CJ says, no, I'm going to hold them off for a little while longer. But there's too intense. CJ ends up going into the back of the truck, and we're already like, okay, he's not going to make it.
No.
CJ.
But he actually says, go get out of here. And so that CJ's kind of sacrificing himself.
Yeah. So CJ's in the back. They're all pouring in. He's picking them off as they're coming through the door. Boom, boom, boom. But, he has to reload, and we think he's going to get it. But then CJ loves that propane, man. He loves those. He loves the propane tanks.
Like, would they have dynamite? What was that? Flare?
That's a flare. It was like a road flare.
Flare, okay. Yeah.
So I think the idea is he had the road flare, and then he shot the gun with the road. I don't know exactly. Yeah. So he figured he shot the propane tank, and it would ignite and hit whatever the road flare was doing, and it would it would blow up. So he does that, blows it up. We see an overhead shot of the dock blowing up.
Yeah. And his great last line, he goes, fucking figures.
Yeah. Because they're all about, he's like about to get eaten right when it blows up. And once again, the scale of the explosion versus the people on the dock, it didn't seem to affect them as much.
That they had in there probably was only half full. Maybe that was it.
I know.
Maybe that was it.
They're there though. They're at the dock.
There's Ty's boat. They got the keys from the corpse of Ty, so they got the boat. They're ready to go.
Yep.
He must have described the boat in detail, and quite conveniently was right on that dock. So that was good.
This is what I thought. He was going to have some really cheesy name for the boat that they would see and know that it was his boat, right? That's what I thought the joke was going to be, because I was like, they don't know which boat to go to. And I thought Anna would go like, oh, look at that. Like that's
his
clearly.
Boat would be like SEA, and then more butts. It'd be C, more butts. Or,
Right. Exactly. But they're getting ready to go off. And then Mike is like, hey, I'm not going. He's very matter of fact. I can't go.
Yeah.
And he shows that he's been bit.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
And poor Anna.
Oh,
because they were developing a little bit of a relationship, which they didn't overdo in the movie. Now, I guess in the director's cut, they actually do make out in the director's cut when they're doing all the shuttle bus stuff, and he shows her the chainsaw thing.
Yes.
The scene in our cut ends with them holding hands.
Yes.
And going like this. But I think the director's cut proceeds to them actually making out, but they decided
she does
to
say
keep
when he
that out.
shows her the chainsaw, he's like, you can go take them off. She goes, that's the most romantic thing anyone's ever shown me.
Right, yeah. But that they were supposed to kiss there, but they never kissed or anything. So I think this does make it a little more moving, and
It does.
she's saying, I can help you. And he's like, no, we know. No, you can't. And they cast off and they're going.
He says, I'm just going to watch the sunrise.
And we just hear the gunshot.
Yep. He says, and all the zombies, I'm watching the zombies in the back and they're trying to get past the truck a little bit, but they can't for some reason. Why aren't they going in the water?
I don't know. Maybe they don't like it.
Maybe
they
they're
don't.
afraid of water. They're very good acrobats.
Yeah.
Don't eat dogs, hate water. Let's write this.
Well, there
in the
was,
zombie
I remember in a later Romero Dead movie, there was a moment where they never go in the water, but then they step off the dock and they go under the water and they realize, oh, we can just walk through the water. I remember that moment distinctly in one of those movies.
Yeah.
And it kind of works out badly for our heroes in that movie, but the zombies kind of realize that the water's not going to hurt them. But yeah, they cast off on the boat and that's the end. Not really.
Well,
this movie does a fun thing with the credits in it.
Not fun, Art.
No?
I don't think so, because they led us to believe that this is a thing. It's ending. There's a little bit of hope. Our survivors who've been through so much shit are heading off, and credits. And yep, they completely turn it around on you.
Because at first, it's structured what they're doing here. At first, we see Ty Burrell's footage from his camcorder, and he's got like a topless woman on his boat, and it looked, it's what you'd expect this character to be doing on his boat.
Yeah.
And then it cuts into, obviously somebody's found this camcorder, and at first it's kind of fun, but then we're noticing it's getting a little more dire. So this is being intercut with the credits, with us, the credits, and then it starts to get a little sadder, and then they show the water's running out.
Yeah.
And people are just sort of sitting.
They find another boat, a dinghy with a living head in the.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What happened that.
I don't know. Here's what I think, Art, is the zombies decided,
Okay.
you know what? We're going to go on a little excursion, but our zombie friend is only a head. Let's take the head and put it in the cooler for safekeeping. It was like a family zombie boating trip, and the other zombies,
and then they fell off
yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how did that head get in the the thing? I don't know. Unless somebody got attacked and the zombies ripped their head off and it fell in the cooler and it went out. I actually now want to see that scene of how that happened.
Yeah, the zombies are like, you want to go on the boat? What about Emma? Emma can't go. She's just a head. Emma, you want to go? Yeah. All right, let's put you in the cooler. And she's like, son of a bitch, they fell off.
Yeah, they find this. And I think that thing with the boat is keying us in that zombies have been on boats. And then the next thing we know, we see there's an island in the distance and they're coming up on the island, see little clips, and then they get off the boat. They're getting on the island. Ship runs off onto the island. Uh-huh. And then we just hear the sounds.
You hear the zombie panthers.
And the zombies are running down the dock. And the first time I watched it, I was like, oh boy, they're going to have to get it back on the boat. But they don't, it doesn't look like they get back on the boat. It looks like the camera drops and that's it.
These shots of zombie faces.
And then weirdly, all of a sudden in that last montage, it's all, zombies. There's suddenly a night vision clip of two women kissing each other. And then it goes back to zombies.
You're right. Yes. It's obviously Ty. It's
Ty.
It's one of his
videos. Yeah. At the end. So that's how it ends. Grim. It's one of those grim endings to a horror movie, which like you said, I sometimes I feel bad because I liked some of these characters that got away. I like these people, and they didn't get away. That's it.
Well, before we discuss whether we like the movie or not, I needed retribution, or I needed reconciliation, something that ends with a shun. Those were both wrong, but I needed something to help me out of that misery, and I found it. So there is hope, because they did a short film about Andy. So Andy records himself.
It's on the DVD, right? On the DVD package.
It's found footage. So we realized that the zombie, the time that we were with the people was 29 days. So we know that they from the time they got to the mall to the time they left the mall was 29 days. So Andy was there for 29 days, and the found footage was found by survivors of the zombie apocalypse that was now over. So the zombie apocalypse ended, and survivors found this footage. So they killed off, I don't know how, but they must have killed off everybody. So I felt, all right, well, at least we have that. But I didn't want Sarah Polley to be eaten by like Islander zombies.
No.
By Aunt Edna's head in a freaking cooler. So there you go. So,
but they wouldn't have lasted too long out on the water either, it looked like. They were out of food. They were out of water. They were out of...
Only because the director made that happen. It didn't have to happen. No. Forgot.
So, Eric, I'll tell you what I think about this movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to discuss about it?
Nope. I just needed to end on that positive note where the zombie apocalypse ended.
Probably a good thing. So I like this movie as a quick action, doesn't waste time. You are engrossed the whole time. It does not slow down too much. And I really enjoyed it. I thought that some of the ideas it had for merge this genre with the action genre, I think is pretty fun. And they integrated it pretty well. I genuinely like that. I do find myself wishing that we had a little more breathing room and I could learn about these characters a little bit more. And I know that there's no way when that truckload of people shows up, I'm like, there's no way we're going to learn about all these people. The original movie, 1978, we just had 4 people that were there. And so it was easy for us to get to know them and let this breathe. Here we had a lot of characters. And I think that trying to keep it to an hour and a half tight action horror movie, some things were not fully developed. Like even the pregnancy couple, I just think those would be something that I would like to see built a little bit into the movie. I missed our biker invasion at the end. I thought that was coming in this, by the way. The biker, I was like, oh, they're not going to do the bikers invading the mall at the end. But I overall liked it. I'm not going to be a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of this movie. I know people really like this, and I know you do. But I know that I would probably be returning to the 1978 one before I would return to this one. And I do see that there are a lot of influences this one had on movies that came after it. And I can see there's a limited series on Netflix that people might know of that are listening to this called Black Summer, which I highly recommend. If you like this movie, if you go and watch this movie, watch this series Black Summer. And it very much is that you're dropped in the middle of this, and it is nonstop for every episode. It's basically a chase scene for 8 episodes, a zombie chase scene. And so I definitely saw the roots of that in this. So I'm going to recommend this movie, but it's not like you must see this movie. Like you must check this out. But that's where I fall. So Eric, what were you thinking about this movie?
Well, Art, so if I want a quick rapid fire zombie movie fix, this is it. I'm not expecting story, and I know that the people that are introduced in the movie are what I guess we're calling them red shirts. You know, they're only introduced to get killed. So that's why we don't get to know about them very much. But if we did, yes, this would be a 2-hour movie, which I probably would still enjoy. But I was blown away by the premise and almost pissed off by the fast-moving zombies, because I was already afraid of zombies, and now I got fast-moving zombies that I have to deal with. So F that. I was pissed. So I loved it in that aspect where I just didn't know what they were going to throw at me next as far as how zombies work. So I thought it was great. I thought the nods to the original Dawn of the Dead were great. And it's not long, like an hour 40 max. I also think that you could make 2 movies out of it by just not watching the end credits. If you want to end it on a nice note, just don't watch the end credits. That's all. But I thoroughly enjoy this movie, and I'm glad that I forced you to watch it. But I am not looking around the room here like Dawn of the Dead. I feel safe in here. Because I can hear those suckers coming because they're like the jaguar. So I know if they're coming. They're not coming. So I'm good. I'm safe. So I like this movie. I would recommend it.
Yeah. Well, so I guess this comes to the part. Oh my God. I feel so bad because you and I we finish recording, right? And then we're like, oh, we got to figure out a rating system to do for our podcast. Like, how do we come up with a rating that we're going to give this movie? Yeah. And we still have yet to land on something that's going to stick. Right?
No, we've come up with a system. I'm not sure what's wrong with your memory on that, but yeah, we definitely come up with a rating system for the horror movies that we watch.
Okay. And so what is Dawn of the Dead? 2004. What is it?
The 2004 Dawn of the Dead reimagining. We'll probably have different amounts from you and me, but for me, it's 8 out of 10 portable chainsaws.
Nice.
Yeah, it's 8 out of 10 weightlifting zombies. that
guy was awesome.
That one. Forget the chainsaws.
He was great.
It's 8 out of 10 buff zombies, little nipple rings.
Erik, so we did it.
We did it.
Dawn of the Dead. 2 Dawn of the Deads.
Yep.
2 Dawn of the Deads we've done. So we want to thank everybody for listening to Midnight Cinema. Join us next week. We'll be firing up the projector for another great horror movie for you to watch. In the meantime, please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't be afraid to rate and review us. It really helps us get the word out if you can do that. If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at midnightcinemapod@gmail.com. Let us know about the show. Let us know if there are any movies that you'd like us to cover. And you can visit us at midnightcinemapod.com. So, Erik, once again, this has been great, and I will see you next week.
All right. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
If I ever turn into one of those things, feel free to shoot me in the head.